Hello, good morning. Welcome to Totally Beads. It's a beautifully bright, sunny day. Summer is still here, so happy to be with you today. Jan says good morning, and she's in a scorching Sudbury. It's been a rather warm of an evening, hasn't it? If you're watching me on Facebook, can you wave to me just so I can see that you're here with us too? Today I'm going to be making a lovely little necklace with you, really. So I've got 4 different colours, 2 on a gold colourway and 2 on a silver. I'm going to be using, I think they're 5mm little Chatons, which are, they're lovely. They're like little shiny little diamanty in a little casing, and they've got drill holes through them so you can make kind of connecting features with them, add a little bit of sparkle and detail. They're quite wedding-y, I think it is probably the best description of a word that doesn't exist. So if you're looking for something a bit wedding-y, a bit delicate, regal, then these are a really lovely, nice, easy make for you. Good morning to Rachel. She says good morning from a glorious, warm and sunny Barrow, and good morning to Elaine as well, who's watching on Facebook. So I know all the streams are working okay, and hopefully everybody who's wanting to watch today has managed to get in and to pop in. Camille says good morning, my dear Natalie. How was your weekend? A bit dull here. It was good. It was busy. I was productive, but there's always more to be done, isn't there? But I had a nice weekend. When the sun's shining, it just makes you feel a little bit better about everything, doesn't it? Good morning to Teresa, and hello to Pauline. She says, Pauline says, good morning to everyone on this beautifully sunny Monday morning. So I'm going to take you over to the website now. I'll take you over to totallybeads.co.uk. And if you would like to get your kits, you can head over into our video tutorial section just here. And you'll see today we're doing the Chantelle Chaton necklaces. If it works, there we go. Okay, so you've got these 4 colours to choose from. I've got a lovely light peach, a powder blue, a rose pink and a sea glass. So I've gone for kind of pastel type colours. They are £4.99 each, but we've also got an offer on for you today. So if you buy 2, you can get 10% off those kits. Of course, you can get more than 2 if you want to, and you can mix up the colours as well if you wish, but you're going to get 2 sizes of your pearl in the same colour in each of the kits. So I will show you what's in the light peach section. So we've got this lovely necklace. So as you can see, all I'm doing is popping in these lovely little sparkles in between. And I'm doing 2 rows of the Tigertail to create that look. Really easy to just bring it in and out. I'm starting in the centre. I've used 5 of the Chatons, which means you've got a nice focal central point, and I'm using the 4 and the 6mm round glass pearls. So along the bottom there will be 6 of the 6mm pearls, and there will be 7 of the 4mm pearls, which are slightly smaller, which are going to give this lovely looped effect. You're going to get all your findings and absolutely everything in terms of materials that you need within this kit. So that will include your Lobster Clasp, which is 12mm, your jump rings, your crimp beads, your Tigertail and your callotes, as well as the Chatons and the glass pearls. So in this, I've put this on the kind of gold colourway, so your findings will be that lovely gold colour. And you can see here the colours that I'm using are the light peach in 4 and 6mm, and we've got these lovely 5mm just to add in those lovely kind of bits of sparkle. So I'm only using 5 in this piece, but if you wanted to change that up, you can do. You could even, add them onto a little pair of earrings if you wanted to make a bit of a sparkly feature with that. You could maybe make a bracelet if you've got any bits left over too. So you could have a little bit of a matching set. So that one is the light peach colourway. We've got the powder blue, which I've popped on the silver. So there'll be your silver findings and those lovely silver little sparklies. So all of the The Chatons, the stones themselves are all kind of clear crystal. It's the casing that goes around it, which is the different colour, whether it be gold or silver. So you can see, and I'll show you them down on the mat, you can use these to like stitch onto different projects. They've got a hole at the back of them here, and then 4 little holes on each side, so you can get your Tigertail through very easily, or whatever stitching kind of thread material that you choose to use. We've got the rose pink, which is also on the silver. So you can see I've just placed them together and they look like that. If you want to have a little look on the website, you can go and have a little look at what colours and sizes that we're using, and you can use that little magnifier if you want to have a closer inspection of my work. And then we've got the sea glass as well. I love this colour. It's kind of like a mint, very pale, soft, bluey green. It's beautiful. And I've put that with the gold. But if you think, actually, I'd really love the sea glass, but I'd want it in silver, you've got 2 options. You can get 2 kits and you can get your buy 2 10% off. Or if you ever want to buy any extras, this is why we pop the product descriptions at the bottom, because you could just add in some extras of those if you wish. So 4 lovely colours for you today. Let me know if there's a particular colour choice that you like the most, and I'll show you them down on the mat so you can have, I'll leave us in there just in case we pop back in. I'll take us back down on the mat now so you can see them in the flesh, lying flat on my table. But of course I like to pop them on the bust when photographing them so you can see how they look when they're on. It's really easy to adjust the size in this as well. If you'd like it more like a collar and you'd like it shorter, you just need to add less of the beads that run round along the back of the neckline. Alternatively, if you'd like it to sit lower down or you'd like to make that larger, you're just adding in more beads. There's plenty of beads because you're getting obviously 2 sizes. When it comes to running up the back of the neckline, you can add whatever pattern you want to. I've done the same pattern, I think, on most of them in terms of how I've placed those 4 and 6 millimeter beads, but you can do whatever you want, and you could always add an extender chain onto the back of that if you'd like to make it a little bit more adjustable. So let me pop back into the comments really quickly before I take you down and see how everybody's doing today. Teresa's in, Pauline's in, Trish has arrived. Hello to you. Good morning to Mina, who's hoping we're all enjoying the sunny weather. Oh, Camille says it's not sunny where she is, but at least it's not raining. Good morning to Kath. Good morning to Carol. Hello to Joanne. She's in a warm so far morning in Coventry. And yeah, everyone's loving the weather, which is great. Thank you very much. Camille says she likes my earrings. I made them myself. The joy of being a jewellery maker. And this is what I love about, making things like we do, because you can get yourself an outfit and you can make yourself something really quick, really easy to match whatever it is that you're wearing. Always good to be able to gift people things that you've handmade yourself. If you ever want an evening with friends or with little ones, you can show them these makes. You can pick out what you like. Camille's called me a clever clocks. Thanks. Yeah, and what I was laughing about this week, I was speaking to my sister. We'd gone to a family party, and I said to her, most people will choose their jewellery to match what they're wearing. I work the other way round. I think I want to wear that necklace, or I want to wear those earrings. What outfit can I match to my jewellery? So I work the other way round. I'm getting quite a bit of a collection of it, to be honest. I've got loads and I'm still making more. So if I take you down on the mat now, let me just move that Tigertail out of the way. Slight delay on my camera and I'm sure it will overheat and go off pretty soon. So this is the beautiful blue. If I do move them out the way, you may see them a little bit better. Just drop the pink one. So there you'll see that lovely, gorgeous blue colour. Mina says that's what she does too. And this is with the silver casings on them. Look how sparkly they are. Lovely. And all I've done is just ran any particular pattern up around the neckline. So I've added in more of the smaller 4 mils and then just dotted the 6s in every now and again. This one is the lovely pink. Gorgeous, like very soft blush colour, but they're all quite pastel like, and I think they would look lovely if you wanted to mix them up. If you wanted to mix the colours up, what I would suggest you do is keep the smaller in one colour and then add the larger glass pearls in another, or you could add 2 of a different colour into the centre and just add a little bit of additional detail that way. And again, just beading up the back. These are your gold cases on those Chatons. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I've got visions of YouTube just bleeping me out thinking I'm being rude. I need to get my French accent, don't I? Chaton. That was awful. This one is the light peach. This is the one that I'm going to be demoing for you today. Let me just check. It is light peach, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. And that's on the gold one. Camille says, me too. I have loads. I keep buying though. I'm making. And Joanne says they're all very gorgeous, delicate colours. I'm quite liking my pastel shades at the moment. Okay, so to get making this lovely Chantelle necklace, I'm going to take 2 lengths of my Tigertail, and I'm cutting 60 centimetres for both of those. That will be more than enough. You can make this smaller if you want to, but I think I'll start off with 2 long lengths. So that's 60 centimetres, which is 24 inches for those of you that work that way. Now I'm going to start from the middle and work my way out. So I'm going to take 1 length of my Tigertail, and you'll see if I just turn this little Chaton over, you'll see I've got a hole on each side. So what I will do is I will run my Tigertail through the back one way, and then I will take my other length and run that in the opposite direction. They are fairly easy to get through. Sometimes it just needs a little bit of a wiggle. So this is how it will look from the back, and the front will now hold that upwards. What I'm going to do before I go any further is just make sure that my Tigertail is at the same point, so this is sitting in the middle. Now I can adjust it as I go, but to do that I'm going to take the same piece of Tigertail and just bring the ends up together roughly, just to make sure that that's fairly central. So I'm going to start from the middle out. It is flailing a little bit around the table. I'm then going to start getting my lovely pearls out. So I'm just going to cut these off my strand. And I'm going to add 7 onto the top over here on each side of the small 4mm. Now, do count and check as you go, because I think it was actually this colourway that I made up, and I was having a chit chat on the phone while making one of the samples up. So I was a little bit distracted when it come to counting, and it was only when I popped it on my bus to photograph it I was thinking, why is that not sitting quite central? And then I realised I'd added an extra bead in. which was really frustrating because I'd put all my findings on and then I was like, right, I'm just going to have to take, it wasn't even the last one, it was like one in the middle. So I did have to take it apart. It was an easy fix. And, you know, I didn't waste any of my materials other than a crimp bead, 2 crimp beads and a callote. I was just able to reattach and fix as I went. So do watch me, and if I make a mistake, just holler at me and go, you've put the wrong amount on. So I'm going to do 7 on each side for the top. So I'm just picking up my bead and I'm just threading that on. What I should have done is give my strand a little bit of a wiggle while the beads were on before I cut them off, because there's a little bit of coating on the pearls and it will still go through really easily, but at one point when I'm going to do the back part of the necklace, I'm going to add 2 of the Tigertail strands through there, through that little hole. So I do want to make sure that it's fairly easy to do. I've also got the lamp right in front of my face, which probably isn't very good for my eyes, but there you go. Good morning, Anne. I hope you're well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I should have probably counted out my pearls as well in advance. There's going to be a lot of counting today. So I'm threading on 7 here, and then on the same side, so it will be a different length of Tigertail, but it will form the top row eventually. I think if I pick one up at a time, it might be a little bit quicker. I'm holding numerous ones in my hand. I've disappeared off Facebook. Right, well, that's not great. Let me see if I can add myself back in. It's saying it's unable to connect, so I will unconnect it and hopefully toggle back on. It's also saying now we're going live at 18 minutes past 10. Hopefully now I've saved that, it may come back on. Honestly, technology at the moment is just a nightmare. Thank you for letting me know though. Right, let me count my pearls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've got 7 on this one and 7 on that one. I will be able to readjust and check that it's sitting in the middle as I go. So now I've put the 7 on the top of the smaller, I'm going to get my larger 6mm pearls out, and I'm just going to pop 6 of those onto the bottom rows. So that will sit like this. And again, taking my next piece. I do find it easy to just lay it flat on my mat or the table, whatever I'm working on, just to lay it out in front of me as I go. Sometimes flip it over. You just have to make sure you pop your crystal chatons up in the right direction. You don't pop them on backwards. So 6 of the larger. Oh, Joy, I hope you're feeling okay. She says she's late to join. She's in bed with COVID. It's still doing the rounds. It's not left us, has it? Okay, so I've got this kind of cross effect, and to bring that together as a little loop, I'm going to take my next 5mm Chaton, and I'm going to thread again. Doesn't matter which side you put what on, because by just threading it through the hole and then taking the other one, so I find it easier to turn it over so I can see what I'm doing, just getting that thread through both directions in the back, and then I will pull those down together and do the same on the other side. So I'm going to use 5 of those. So an easy way to remember while you're doing the pattern is it's 6 of the 6 mil and 5 of the Chatons. So again, bringing it up, and then this piece of the Tigertail will run across the other way. And then I will just slide it down by bringing those together. Now what's going to happen is as I put my next set of pearls on, that will pinch it all together and make sure that there's no gaps showing in the Tigertail. So I'm just going to repeat that. It is quite a quick make if I can get my pearls on straight. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you don't have to do the top on both sides and then the bottom. You can just add each section on as you go. You do whatever you want to. I do think it's easier for me to start in the middle and work my way out. So I tend to do one side and then go on to the other side. So 7 pearls on the top, 6 on the bottom. Again, you'll see they've started to gap. That's fine. I'm just going to add my next one on, going through one side and out the other. So your Tigertail will go in a straight line, straight across. So they'll both be going horizontally. Just make sure that you definitely do go through those little holes and you don't come out the hole in the back of it. And then gently pull in on both sides just to slide that down, and a little bit of tension will pull those together. Again, if you want to, you can check that your Tigertail ends are fairly even, and if you find it's not, then you can just wiggle them across by just sliding them down a little bit more. So I'm going to come on to this side now. I do think this would make quite nice, like mother of the bride jewellery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the bottom. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the top. So I'm adding on my last Chaton now. So I do find it easier, as I say, to go along the back so I can see, but I'll put it on the right way up and then just kind of flip it over. You need to make sure that as you're threading the tiger tail through, I'll tend to just push this down, this one that comes through first with my thumb, and then this one can run along the top of it. If it ever gets stuck, it's just because it's, catching on that other piece of tiger tail. Right, now what I'm going to do is just give that a little pull down. So I've got my central and two either side, and then I'm going to bring them together with another loop of the same amount of crystals before I bring both ends together. Again, what I will do before I start sliding on those beads is I will just hold my tiger tail ends roughly together, and because I scooted it over before, I've got a little bit more length on this side than that side. So you can see I'm just pushing them across with my fingers just to slide those pieces into place a little bit more by pulling on the ends of the tiger tail, and that's going to create this lovely natural curve. Camille is counting along with me. Thank you very much. You can tell when I'm counting because I just go quiet because I just think nobody wants to sit and listen to me counting. Okay, so again, I'm going to do exactly the same, but without adding the next Chaton on, because I've added them all on now. So it's going to be 7 at the top of the 4mm pearls, and then 6 on the bottom again. Just extra counting because I want that to sit evenly, and I'd rather notice I've made a mistake at this point than, as I say, when I've added the findings on at the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the larger. And then I'm going to bring both ends of the tiger tail together on the same side. And I'm going to take one of my smaller pearls and I'm going to pop both ends of tiger tail through and then pull that up. And I want to pull that tight because I want to make sure there's no gap between the pearl that joins them together. And again, exactly the same on the other side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a little wiggle on the strand just to make sure any coating is kind of not blocking those holes. Good morning, Sheila. She says she can't find us on Facebook. Yeah, we've dipped off. I've got loads of people watching, but clearly all on YouTube. I tried to fix it. Computer says no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the top of the 4mm pearls and 6 of the 6mm along the bottom. And then I'm going to hold both ends of the tiger tail together. Take one of my smaller 4mm pearls and add that onto both strands and slide it down And then with both ends of the Tigertail, I'm just going to pull firmly again, just to make sure that there's no gaps. And then that's pulled up nice and tight. Again, the more I add on, the more that's going to kind of lock them into place. So you can see I've created this lovely curve that's going to sit really nice on the neckline. And now all you need to do is just string on the ends, exactly the same amount, and pattern what you do to this side onto that side. And you can play about and do whatever you wish with that, but you will see that you have got loads of pearls left. So if you wanted to, you could just string on the smaller. I like to add in a little bit of the larger pearl as well every now and again. Joyce says, nice for older bridesmaids. Yeah, I think because they're quite pastel coloured, I think they do. Not that every wedding is that kind of tone. Some people go for really bright, vivid weddings and do whatever they want, and rightly so. But yeah, I think they kind of give that vibe to me as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly the same on one as I do on the other. You might find it easier to stagger your Tigertail, but I will just make sure that as I thread one onto one side, I'm giving that little pull again, just to check that nothing's kind of coming loose. And whatever I add onto one side, I add onto the other. So I'm going to start by adding some of the smaller pearls. And that's going onto both ends of the Tigertail. You don't have to add them onto both ends of the Tigertail. If you wanted to, you could, maybe thread it onto one and then keep bringing it back through the larger and make that kind of effect. There's absolutely no right or wrong with this. Keep pulling them as you go, just to make sure you've got a nice tension. I'm now going to add one of the larger ones. And then another small. And then a larger one again. Making sure I do the same on the other side, so I've got that symmetry. You'll see the drill holes in this and these pearls are a really good size, so you can get a couple of strands of the Tigertail that you'll get in your kit through these with ease, she says. I do find though, if you do get one which is a little bit of a tighter drill hole because of that coating, then it kind of locks it in place a little bit easier. So I'm starting to do that little pattern. I think I'll add another 3 of the smaller pearls onto both sides. And we're talking about wearing these with formal wear, but I think with just a plain t-shirt, or even in the winter when we're wearing our high necks, I think these will work lovely and look lovely. They're quite versatile. And I say, even in the winter when we're wearing our jumpers, it was like literally a week ago, I was like, it still feels like winter. Now you'll see here, I've started to get that gap. All I'm going to do is just take one end of my Tigertail and pull it, and it will pull it all close again together. So if it starts to, come loose, just take one end, give it a little pull. What I adore about Tigertail is it's really, really sturdy. So again, it's made up, I think this one in your kit is made up of 7 individual strands of wire. So it's sturdy and can hold that lovely shape. And then it's coated in like a nylon coating. So you can be, quite forceful with it. You can give it a good tug and a good pull, and it will hold its shape. And you don't have to worry about it snapping. I've never, ever, ever snapped a piece of Tigertail. I've snapped wire, but I've never snapped a Tigertail. And if anybody has, I wouldn't want to shake your hand, because I think you must be like the Hulk. I don't know whether it's possible to do. So again, I'm just making sure I've got that symmetry. So I'm working off like both sides at the same time, like alternating between adding onto one side and the next. And you can do whatever pattern repeat that you want to do with your pearls. So I've gone for a large 6mm, a smaller 4mm, and then a large 6mm pearl. And then I'm just popping 3 of the 4mm pearls in between. I think that's just adding a nice little bit of detail, being able to carry the same pearls through the back. Jan says, I bought all of them last week, so I missed the offer. Oh, Jan, I didn't even know they were available to buy last week. I suppose if you see the schedule event, it will say get your materials here. Has it been dispatched yet? If you've got your dispatch notification, then I don't know, because if it's set up, I would have thought the offer would have been on then at the time, but it's not me that does the offers. It's the warehouse team that, do all that magic. I just literally go pick beads at the warehouse and then come up with a design and make it. Do get in contact with them just in case. Trish says, these are so pretty, I had to buy one of each. Thank you so much. So they are the Chantelle Chaton necklaces. They're light peach, powder blue, rose pink or sea glass. They're £4.99 per kit, which makes up one necklace. Though I do think you'll have bits left over if you want to make a bracelet, if you've got clasps and whatnot and findings in your stash. And it's a buy 2 get 10% off. I don't know how long that offer's on for, but make the most of it if you can. And Jan, maybe just send them a little email and see what magic they can work. Oh, she's already got them. So you can make along with me now then, Jan, can't you? Are you making along? Are you going as quick as I am? Are you going quicker than I am? Have you finished yours? And are you doing this pattern around the back, or have you chose to add your beads in at a different order? She says they're lovely, very pretty, and she loves the colours. I mean, it's nice to have an abundance of choice with colours, but I thought the 4 I've picked, I think there's pretty much something for everyone. I've been putting together some earrings for a future tutorial, which are so easy to do, but I just love them. They are very, very, very summery. They are hoop earrings, and I think a hoop is just summer. Hoop earring is a summer earring. Jan says she's not making at the moment, but she will do shortly. Please, if you do make anything with our kits or with our designs, if you can let me see them. I'd love to see what you've made. You can share them on our Facebook group, which is it Handmade by Totally Beads, or is it Totally Beads Handmade? Or you can find me as well. I will share all the tutorials on my Facebook, which is Natalie Patton Wire Artist, I think I've called it. And obviously you can find me on YouTube as well. I'll always share the tutorials that I do on that, which is Natalie Patton Jewellery. So there's lots of ways to find us, but we do love to see what you've been making. And of course, if you have any problems with anything, you can always send us a message or comment or whatever, and we will always do our best to respond as soon as possible. I have had messages off the lovely Hazel this week. A few have sent me some of the wire flowers that they've been doing, that we did on Friday, and other bits and bobs that they've made, whether that be, chainmail projects, wire projects. And honestly, I know it might sound a bit daft, but it makes me feel very proud and very happy when I see someone making something really that they didn't think they wanted to give a go, because they didn't think they would be capable of doing it, or they've done something and it's not worked out, and then they've tried it again and they've cracked it, or whatever it is. I like seeing what you're making. I also have Karen, and she will send me things that she's made which I haven't made, and she will inspire me. So Mina often sends me things and says something like, this might be good for a live. So I love getting that from you. I think it brings us together. As sentimental as it sounds, I think it brings us together in making, and sharing that love of crafting together. Jan says, I did the Stephanie necklace and bracelet set yesterday, and even added a pair of earrings too. I can't remember what that was. I have a look afterwards. After I finish the live, I'll check and I'll go which one was Stephanie. Sometimes I remember the name. Sometimes I name it something because the name means that thing. Sometimes I just look at it and go, what does this look like? Does this look like a Chantelle? Today I went for Chantelle because I was using the Chaton, and I quite liked the alliteration of what that is. So, you see this project now, it's just a really easy bead stringing. Just bringing the Tigertail through both ends. And again, you can lay them next to each other and check that you've got that symmetry. I'm not going to add too much more to this, I don't think, because I'm probably going to have the length that I want. I prefer this to sit a little bit higher on me, so I tend to make it a little bit shorter. But I've made sure there's plenty in your kits for you to make a big one. You've got enough pearls, enough Tigertail to do what you want. And again, another perk of making your own jewellery, you can custom make it. That was another thing when we did the bracelets. And I was saying, I've put enough in for you to make a large one, but it's too large for me. So I took out a little row with the gemstones and the kind of connectors, and it fit me perfect. But for others, they say, well, that's a bit too small. Put that on the right side. I can't remember who was it who showed what they'd done, and they just added in the little extra seed beads at the end, and it looked gorgeous, but also then it was the perfect fit. It's things like that, being able to, share your ideas with each other and share your adjustments. You might do something and think, actually, if I do it like this, it works better. And then somebody else might see that and think, oh yeah, that does work better. And I might think, oh yeah, that does work better. I'll do that better next time. And we learn from each other. Right. You can also finish on whatever size pearl that you want. So if you want to finish on the full mill, or you want to finish on the 6 mil pearl, you absolutely can do. They'll all fit nicely against the callote, because that's how I'm going to attach my clasp. I'm using my trusty callotes, so I don't have to worry about bringing the Tigertail back through as well, because I don't think you're going to be able to bring the Tigertail back through the run of this necklace if you're doing it like this, where I'm bringing the pearl through 2 pieces of Tigertail. I don't think 4 is going to fit through. Should I finish with a larger? Right, what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to check before I do finish that I'm pulling that taut, sorry. So again, there's no gap. As you're threading these on, it can come a little bit loose. So I'm just going to make sure that it's all sitting close together, and it's not staggered. Okay, I think I'm going to finish with a smaller pearl and then start adding on my findings. It doesn't want to go through. So I'm just giving it a little bit of a push and a little bit of a wiggle if it gets stuck. And then once it's through, I can pull individually on it, making sure that's nice and tight. And again, usually when I'm going to pop my findings on, I'll curve the piece that I'm making, the bracelet or the necklace, so it's got the right tension in it. You'll find, because you've used this lovely feature at the front, it has a natural curve. So it's just these bits here that I'll curve round in that direction. What you might find a little easier to do when you finish stringing on how you want is just trim off your Tigertail so it's even. Again, pull down, making sure I'm happy where everything is. If I think there's a teeny tiny gap there that I don't want, then I'm just going to pull on both ends. And you can pull with your tools as well. Don't have to use your fingers, just to make sure that that's lined up where I want it to be. I'm then going to take out 2 of my callotes. So I'm using the gold ones to match the gold Chatons. And I'm going to add my callote, so both ends of the Tigertail come up through the middle. Again, if you want to give it a little pull, just to check it's nice and close to the beads and there's no gap, I'll do that again on both sides as I go. I'm going to take 2 crimp beads out because I'm going to double crimp. So I will slide that crimp bead over both ends of the Tigertail and I'll let that drop so it's sitting inside of the callote. Before I close it over, I'm going to check once more that I'm happy where it's positioned, and then I'm just going to close that crimp bead down. And again, when you've got the callote on, you know, when you add your crimp beads to it, the crimp beads will be hidden inside of the callote. So you don't have to worry whether they're going to be looking neat, and you know, you don't need to put like a crimp cover on it. Again, I just want to adjust that, so I'm just going to reposition. There it is, and that's just closed that gap up really nicely. Again, sliding on my callote through both ends of the Tigertail. Adding on my first crimp bead, which is going over both ends of the Tigertail. Check that my beads are all in position. And then I'm just going to flatten that down. Don't even know if I'm under the camera at the moment. Yeah, I am. There it goes. Adding on an extra one, just for that security. If one crimp bead ever fails, then your other one will keep your necklace from coming undone. So they're sitting nice and closely on top of each other. You can see in there, 2 crimp beads nice and flat. And then I can come in with my cutters. Make sure that you're just cutting the excess Tigertail and not the callote or the crimp bead. So I'm just moving that out the way so I can cut it nice and closely. And then do with cutting that a little bit more, to be honest. And then I'm just going to close it over with my fingers. Check it's nicely lined up. And then very gently with my pliers, I'm going to just put a little bit of pressure on. So those little loops at the end of my clamshell will line up. And then all I need to do is add on my clasp by my jump ring. So opening up the jump ring, giving it a little turn towards me, sliding it on through those holes, and then adding on my lobster clasp and turning it slightly in the opposite direction to make sure that is fully closed. Again with the other one, I'm going to give it a little turn towards me, only opening it by a few millimeters, just enough to be able to hook it on through, closing it over in the opposite direction. My necklace is now complete. It's a very quick make, and I'm feeling really smug and proud of my phone for not overheating and my camera to have stayed on throughout the whole of that. So these are your Chantelle Chaton necklaces. Little recap, you've got the light peach, which I've demoed for you here. Again, if you want to make that longer, you can see all I've done is just added more of the beads around the neckline. If you want it smaller and sitting higher, you can just do less. So they are the light peach ones. We've got a gorgeous powder blue for you too. We've got the rose pink, and we've got the sea glass colourway. All of your kits come with everything you need, from your findings to your stringing material, all the beads, and those beautiful 5mm Chatons. They are £4.99, or buy two and get 10% off. Rachel says very regal. Yeah, I do try. Started watching The Crown. I know I'm so late, but I'm loving it. And I'm just like, ooh, look at her bracelet. Ooh, look at the pearls. So there might be quite a few regal makes. Might make us a full-on tiara and a crown at some point, because I'm inspired by it. But they're very pretty. I won't put it on because this neckline won't work. But they're very, in fact, I'll put it on the bust. That's what it's here for. This is the one I've just made. So you can see it gives a lovely, lovely shape to it. They're very, very pretty. Sheila says, very pretty make, Natalie. Thank you for showing us. You're most welcome. Jan says, thank you. Look forward to making these. I hope you enjoy them, Jan. I hope you have a lot of fun with them. And thank you so much for being with me today. I'll be back with you on Friday. I think I'm making earrings on Friday. I don't know, I've been moving about my schedule thinking, oh, I'll do that and I'll do this and then I'll do that then. Laura will be back with you on Wednesday, I think. I'm not too sure what she's making, but I'm sure it's going to be gorgeous. So I all hope you have a very, very lovely week, and I'll see you at the end.